Hey y'all, so I didn't skip the week. Look at me being consistent. Aren't you proud? So back for another Woo Chow Wednesday. There was a lot. Listen, last week when I was going through these Reddits, it was a lot of posts that I was like, oh, wait a minute. So it's hard to like dwindle it down to ones that I want to talk about and not do like 50 of them because listen, people be having some problems. Oof. But let's jump right on in here. She's 17. And the title of this is Should I Come Out to My Parents? Ooh, child. So I've been dating this girl who's 16 for a few weeks, and she's the first girlfriend I've ever had. She was a person who helped me accept the fact that I'm pansexual. The problem is my parents are very religious, Christian and Jewish, and they are very against gay rights and things like that. They're the kind of people that will see a guy wearing makeup on TV and make disgusting comments about it. However, when LGBT plus family members come over, they don't seem to mind at all and are generally accepting of them to their face. But sometimes they'll talk behind their backs. I really like my girlfriend and I want her to be in good standing with my parents, but I don't know if I should present her to them as just my friend or if I should just tell them we're dating. I hate lying to my parents and I would much rather come out, but I'm afraid of them being disappointed, abusive, or if they would just kick me out of their house. Child, listen. So first of all, for pansexual, for people that don't know what that is, and I know there's a lot of new terminology for sexuality, and it gets to be a bit confusing. What does all this mean? Pansexual is where you're just kind of attracted to people for who they are. So it could be a man, it could be a woman. It doesn't really matter as long as that person has the characteristics that you find attractive. And it's different from bisexual in that it isn't necessarily a sexual attraction to both men and women because it's more about who the person is. I know it's confusing, but that's what pansexual is. I could do a whole video on it if y'all want, but that's what it is. So I've had this same situation happen when I was doing regular therapy with some kids, and here's my thing. Yes, you should be able to come out and be yourself and everybody accept it and sing Kumbaya and it'd be lovely. However, when you are a minor, your parents are in control of a lot of things, okay? And if you already know, if she said she's afraid that they're going to kick her out of the house and become abusive, if you feel like they're capable of that, there's a reason that you feel that way. You've seen how they respond to other LGBT plus people. Even within their family, they talk shit about them behind their back. So I always, if you don't have a family that is going to be supportive, I feel like it's always best to wait to come out. And it's not, I wouldn't even, people feel like it's you being ashamed of who you are and hiding you. It isn't that. It's that you have this information that can negatively impact your life, at least for the next year or two. Because once you turn 18 and you get out of their house and you go to college, live out, whatever, when you're not as dependent on them, then they can feel how they want to feel and it won't impact you as much. Because really, you sound like you may have the kind of parents that will never be okay with this. Okay? They'll never be accepting of it. And that's okay. Here's the thing. And here's how I feel about this. First of all, when you first tell your parents, they're going to probably flip out anyway. And I always tell folks, like, I don't care how old you are, you've had your entire life to address or become comfortable with who you are, what your sexuality is, whatever. When you first tell somebody, you cannot expect them to have that same acceptance that you now have after having all this time to come to terms with it. It's not fair of you to expect like immediate acceptance. Probably not going to happen. Even in the best case scenario, it's going to be a little weird. Okay, it's going to be a little awkward. And it's just one of those things where the people in your life may never be accepting of it because they may have such strong feelings about it that their love for you doesn't overcome their hate or misunderstanding or just not being accepting of it. They may not be able to ever overcome that. So doing this when you're in a position where it's going to impact you heavily, I don't think it's a good idea. And I think it's waiting. I don't, I tell people, don't look at it like you're hiding who you are. You need to look at it like you're doing what's best for you in this moment. And with you being 17, girl, you're going to be at the house soon and you can do what you want to do. And if you still feel, pressed to introduce this girlfriend to your parents, you can do so then when it isn't going to, again, negatively impact you as much. Now, listen, being out of the house does not mean it's going to be super easy, because they can still disown you. If you go to college, they can tell you they're not going to pay for stuff anymore, but you're in a better position than you are 17 in high school living in their house. So if you can't wait any longer after you leave out of the house, I mean, I get it. But doing it in a household where it's not safe to do so, just because you feel like you should be able to be free, you can't do that. Sometimes we have to live in the world that we have while we wait for the one that we want. And of course, all LGBT plus people want the world that's super accepting and everybody doesn't care about that. We don't have that world. And so you still have to be very careful about who you put yourself around, because there are still people out here that will kill folks behind this shit, okay? This still happens in 2020. So you got to be very careful. So I would say just wait. I don't even know, maybe not even introducing her as your friend though, because that can lead to a whole nother issue when if you do stay with her and y'all come out and you say, hey, she's my girlfriend. No, I told y'all friend, but like, we more than that. They're going to be real upset about that. So, I mean, unless it organically happens, I wouldn't go out of my way to introduce her as your friend, because they're going to feel like you lied to them and they're going to be angry about it on the back end. So yeah, that's what I would say about that one. Living in the house with your parents, man, and having stuff go on is difficult. It is, especially if you had the kind of parents that are, I will kick you out of my house kind of parents. So you have to do what's best for you in the moment and look forward to a future where you're going to be able to be as free as you want to be. And that's kind of how you have to deal with that. That is going to be it for my Woo Chow Wednesday. I'm trying to there's some really crazy ones, okay? And I'm trying to smooth slide into those like a little bit later when I have a few more people watching, so that more people can enjoy the craziness that is this subreddit. If you would like to send me in something that you would like for me to discuss, or a question or a scenario, whatever the case may be, you can send it to my Gmail account, which is calamityred@gmail.com. And we'll get it handled. Or you can leave it down below if you don't really care about people seeing your scenario with your YouTube name. So that's it. That's all. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.